Caught up with Alaska's Mike Digregorio for an all-out discussion on tomorrow's do-or-die game against NLEX. And Mike shares what makes the Road Warriors a tough team to face. Mike D also talks about the Aces' mindset heading into this really crucial game.
It's do or die. So backs against the wall now for both teams now that we won game one. So I'm sure they're going to be hungry as well. But, to your question, what's the mindset of the team? I think, we got a chip on our shoulder. We have a group of guys that are competitive and have a chip on our shoulder and have something to prove. And obviously with it being the last dance and how much it means to all the fans and all the people that have been around the organization for so long. We got so many ball boys that have been there for 35, 36 years the whole time. And Master Gus and Coach Mike and Coach Jeff obviously has been a part of the franchise for such a long time. So it means a lot to a lot of people. Yeah. So, we feel that, we have the team in order to give them this farewell, a good ending. So, obviously we want to come out and be competitive and be aggressive. And so that's the mindset, just back against the wall, give it everything we got and leave it all on the floor.
Yeah, fans trooping to the Big Dome, Gatas Republic supporting ever since the fans ever since the 90s, going there supporting you guys. It could have been your last game, and you wouldn't be playing tomorrow had you not won that first match against NLEX last Wednesday. Let's talk about that game, Mike, because it was a slow start for you guys. When I was getting updates, I'm like, man, this can be the last game of Alaska. You guys were down as many as 16 points, and then you turned things around. What were the keys for you guys surviving, coming back, rallying back, and then eventually beating NLEX?
Right. You've been around sports for so long and me being basketball for so long, it's a long game. It's a 48-minute game. So obviously, you don't want to get off to a start like that. But knowing in our minds when we go to the timeout that, we would remind each other, like, we got 3 quarters to go. It's a long game. Let's just stick with it. Let's stick with the game plan. And we stepped up our physicality, our defense. Our defense was on point. It really was. The last 3 quarters, I think we held them under 80 points for the game. That our 3-point perimeter defense was great. Obviously their percentages from the 3 weren't that well. I expect them to shoot a little bit better next game, but our defense was really on point, and that's what it's going to be about for us in order to pull it off tomorrow. Yeah. It's got to be our heart, our defense, scrappy, tip balls, diving on the floor, that kind of thing. So on last Wednesday, that was our mindset after the slow start, like you mentioned.
Oh, yeah. You guys were fun to watch when you guys are rolling like that, like everybody scrapping for the loose ball, just helping out on defense. It was really nice to watch Alaska do that, especially in a game like that. We know NLEX number 2 seed for a reason. They're a really good team. What makes NLEX, Mike, from your perspective, such a really tough opponent?
Well, I think, first of all, it starts with Coach Yang. Obviously, he's an accomplished and great coach, and he allows his guys to play. Having played them for the last 7 years, I know their guys play loose. He gives each and every one of those guys confidence to play their game. I believe from hearing from teammates that have played for him, if you don't take the shot, he gets mad. So, that's an advantage for them. They play loose, they play free. Everybody that comes off the bench, everybody that gets in the game, he changes starting lineups all the time. So everybody has confidence on that team. So obviously that adds to their value on the court, and that makes everybody on the court a dangerous player. So obviously we have to account for everybody. Kevin is obviously a great player as well. So we got to stop his downhill attacks and kicking out to open shooters. And if they get hot, obviously just like any other team, if they get hot, they could reel off 4, 5, 6 in a row. So that even more so makes our defense impressive last game, and even more so that we have to focus on those details. Being in the gaps, closing out, diving, scrapping, clawing, being physical, those kind of things that allowed us to be successful.
Alaska Aces are looking to keep their last dance going as they take on the NLEX Road Warriors one more time in the PBA Governor's Cup Finals happening tomorrow. Well, Alaska forced this rumor match by defying the odds and beating the NLEX Road Warriors last Wednesday, even with a new import in tow. Now, in part 2 of my conversation with Alaska's Mike Digregorio, He talks about their new import, Mark St. Fort. He also shares the best thing about being a part of this Alaska franchise.
He was only been here for 2 days before the game. So obviously that's an adjustment, not only for him, especially for him, but for everybody else. Obviously we don't know his tendencies quite yet, like the way it was with Olu. We've been with Olu for the whole conference. So it was a little bit of adjustment for him and for us. But as a professional, obviously you come in and do your job. And to his credit, for getting a crash course in that short amount of time, he played up to par. He brought energy, he played defense. Obviously he hit some shots, he rebounded the ball. And that's all you could really ask from an import, to have that winning mindset and just do the simple things, play defense, hustle, bring energy, extra effort. And he's a basketball player. So like Coach mentioned to us in the huddle, like, this is basketball. We all know how to play basketball. So it's not going to be like a crazy new thing for us. Obviously just go out there, do the principles that we have on defense, and then play basketball.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you find Mark, especially compared to your previous import, Olu? I was looking at his numbers earlier, 17 and 14 in his first game. But Olu, like what you said, has played the whole elimination round with you guys, and he averaged close to 19 points, close to 13 boards a game. How do you compare, if we're gonna, compare these two imports of obviously Mark St. Fort, Olu Ashaolu? How do you compare these two?
They're both great players. They're both obviously great guys with great character as well. So that matters off the court. But Olu's more of an inside guy. Obviously he's a dominant inside presence. His energy, his hustle, he clogs up the paint, eats up that space, and he attacks mostly from inside. Obviously he could stretch it out a little bit, but Mark is more of an outside guy. He could take it off the perimeter, take it to the basket. He could shoot the ball really well. So it's a little bit of a contrasting style, when coming off a pick and roll, and Olu's going to dive, and this guy likes to pop a little bit and keep it outside, rip, go to the basket, those kind of things. Get out in transition. So they have somewhat different games, but the most important thing, like I said, that they're both great players. They both got great character on and off the court, and the energy for both of them is super high. So that's a little bit of the similarities and differences.
Yeah, I bumped into Olu, I think, a week ago. And really great guy, Canada, really great guy. I haven't met Mark, but I'm assuming he's also a nice guy, fitting in well with your team. We know, Mike D, that ever since it was announced that Alaska will be leaving the Philippine Basketball Association after the Governor's Cup, all of your games have been really emotional. Tell us more about the conversations the players have before, your games during this last dance. What do you guys talk about in the locker room?
It's definitely motivation. Like we spoke a little bit off camera, like there's just so many fans that message us, and so many people that it means so much to. You run into somebody all the time that's saying, like, go for the 15th title, go for the 15th title. It means so much to so many people. So the conversation is really just to give it our all, and to really lay it out on the floor. And, because this could be it, obviously. And you don't want it to end premature, and you don't want it to end knowing that you had more left in the tank to give, and you didn't leave it all out there. So that's really the conversation. I think, Wednesday, obviously we showed that, like you mentioned, we got off to a slow start, but the motivation, the gut, the heart, that we don't want this to end, not only for ourselves, but for everybody that it means so much to. We want to make sure that we end this thing right. And that's mostly, the drive, that it can't end like this. It can't end premature. We have to keep going and leave it all out there. And if we are going to go out, then we're going to go out swinging.
Mike D, if I can chime in, what I loved about this whole farewell tour of Alaska, like Last Dance, like, you guys seem to be on the same page. Like, everybody's on board with it, the whole team, like using it as motivation, as you said, for the fans, for everybody who grew up watching Alaska. I know there's pressure in there, but you guys are just like, let's do this, let's do it one more time, get that 15, let's just do it one game at a time. Well, I know you've been with the team. I've been talking to you since you were with other teams before, right? But you've been with them since 2020. What has been the best thing about being a part of a franchise like Alaska that has such rich history in the PBA?
The best thing, honestly, is what everybody says about Alaska, and it's true. It's not fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a family. They're rich, like you said, rich in tradition, winning tradition. They do things the right way. They're a class act. The way I'm treated every single time I'm there is classy and respectful, and they do things the right way. I mean, they treat their players great. Obviously, the level of preparation you would want from a coaching staff and management is always there every time we practice and play games, and you really can't ask for more as a player. You know, having an organization that gives you all the things that you need, prepares you the way you need to be prepared, and that's I mean, you couldn't ask for more because you know, I've played on other basketball teams where it's not always the case, right? So just the rich tradition of winning, and they expect to win, and I think that's, to answer your question, that's something I love the most, having a winning mindset. And that's something that I really feel that is so important, not only in basketball, but in life. You know, having a winning mindset, having a desire to win and to perform at a high level. They have that desire, and it's such a special organization.
And, you know, you found a home there. You fit in perfectly, and it's just really sad that they're leaving, but, you know, it's leaving it all out on the floor, and you're having a great time. What do you want to tell the Alaska faithful, Mike D, before we head out to that crucial game against NLEX? Your message through
I just want to tell all the Alaska fans, again, thank you for all your support throughout the whole conference, not only the playoffs last Wednesday, but thank you for your support throughout the whole playoffs. Thank you for coming out there and cheering us on, and all the energy you gave us last Wednesday. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow as we play to get into the semis. Your energy, your effort, your support, all of that means so much to us. So thank you again, Alaska fans, and hopefully we're going to go out there and give it our all and get into the semis and try to drive number 15 for you.